Hey there, welcome to the Healthy Vibes podcast. I'm Kelly Renato, and I thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. I hope to give you a quick bit of encouragement and maybe make you think a little bit differently this week. Today I want to talk about urgency and saying no to urgency when it doesn't need to be urgent. I feel like we truly live in a very urgent society, an urgent world, urgency culture, whatever you want to call it right now. And it's surrounding us with all of the ways that we can communicate, the too many ways that we can communicate. We just live in a world that rewards speed, quick reactions, immediate responses, and we're conditioning people to think that we should all be that way all the time for everything. But sometimes the healthiest thing we can do, many times, is to pause, slow down and just say, no, not right now. Some things are urgent. Absolutely, there are urgent things. I think we can all agree. But I think it is learning to say no to what's not urgent in your life or your, priorities for the day or what matters to you. Some people live in that urgent world all day and they want quick action and they are checking their to-do list off and they are getting stuff done. And if you by chance are a part of something, they want you just the same. And not everyone's urgency is your urgency. And many times it just leads to stress, anxiety, burnout. We are all wired differently. We are all wired so differently. And I sat in a training recently for leadership, and we went over the DISC assessment, if you've ever taken that. And, looking at all the different leadership types or personality styles, whatever you want to refer to it as, we are all wired so differently. And we have to understand that when we manage people, work with people in our families, if you're a part of a team, whatever it is you're a part of, we all handle things differently. And the constant urgency, stress, I can be urgent when it needs to be urgent. I can work fast when I need to. If I have something that has to get done, I will get it done. But a constant day-to-day urgency is stressful. To me, it builds anxiety and overwhelm, and you end up just wanting to shut people off because it's too much. So I want you to truly pay attention this week to what is urgent and what isn't urgent. And if it's affecting you, if it's affecting your stress, how you're feeling each week, and if you're making or putting all this pressure on yourself when you don't need to. Because I want to keep reminding you, not everything that feels urgent is actually urgent. We have to learn how to decipher what is and what isn't. And a lot of times we can't if we're not allowing ourselves times to pause, slow down, and assess the situation. We just keep going. So that's what I want you to think about this week. We're going to talk about slowing down, using the pause. I've talked about that many times, and protecting your peace. Because I think a lot of times we think like there's no answer to it, or we can't say no, or it's just the way it is, or we're in this vicious cycle, we can't get out of it. But there is a different way. Everything shouldn't feel rushed all the time. You shouldn't have to answer every single text, phone call, every notification right away. It's you have to learn to say no. Put your phone to the side. If you're working, if you're with your family, you have to put it to the side and realize that is not urgent right now. You have to decide what matters most, and you can. You really can. Don't let the pressure you're feeling from someone else create anxiety, poor decisions, burnout, or a disruption in your family life, your marriage. A lot of times it's emotional pressure that we're feeling from others, from work, from teams, from whoever in our life, and it's not an actual true necessity. But we have to learn how to make the choice and decide. And the most important thing I can tell you first is the power of the pause. And I've talked about the pause in so many talks that I've done. I've talked about it on the podcast. I talk about it with clients, friends. You have to learn how to pause and slow down and create space in your life. That is up to you. Nobody's going to just give you space and a chance to pause. I mean, some people might if they're practicing this life too, but not many people are. So you have to learn how to practice the pause. Where you pause, there's so many places you need to pause. My first pause is the start of the day. I take a pause in the beginning of the day before I rush into the day to have time with God, have quiet time, prayer time, kind of just write down my main priorities for the day, get some clarity, get my head in the right place. So then I know, like, what do I have to get done today? What maybe I can get done if I get that, the most important things done. Just a reminder of what my commitments are that day. Just pause before the day starts. Don't just rush into the day. That to me is the first place that you jump on the urgency train, and don't pause before you start the day. And then pause during the day if you need to. Anytime, if the day is getting away from you, just take a moment. Go outside and get some fresh air. Just go into your office and get a few minutes of quiet by yourself. Go for a walk. It doesn't have to be long. It's just a quick, I'm going to take a deep breath, maybe a couple. I'm going to get my head together. Maybe you do the same thing you did this morning, but just a little bit briefer. Talk to God. Maybe, read a devotion or even just a Bible verse to get your head in the right place before you keep going in your day. Throughout the day, when people come at you with, can you do this? I need you to do this. We're doing this in 2 weeks. Can you? That's where you practice the pause as well. Pause before committing. Let me get back to you on that. I'll see. I'll check my schedule. If they say check it now, say I can't check it now. I'll get back to you. Just nicely say, take the pause and say I'll get back to you. Pause just before responding to people. Take a moment. Pause before reacting if someone comes at you or someone in your family, your kids, whatever it is, and maybe you feel like you need to pause before you react in a way that you might regret. Just take a pause. Pause before taking on any new commitments. Take a pause and really think it through. I'll get back to you tomorrow. It does not have to be answered today. Pause. It gives you clarity. It protects your energy. And it allows you to have a thoughtful decision instead of just a reactive one that you might regret and be like, oh, why did I say yes to that? How many times have we all said that? How do I get out of that now? Why did I do that? So you can say things like, let me think about it. I'm not sure. I need to get back to you. I'm uncertain of that day. I need a little time to look at the schedule. I mean, you can absolutely say, you know what? I really can't. I know I can't. You could, if you practice that, you can be good at that too. Pause is not avoiding what someone's asking you. It's providing you wisdom to think it through, to have clarity, to make sure you make a good decision. Yes, there's going to be things in our life that we have to decide quickly. Absolutely. I'm not naive in that. I know that. But you have to know when you need to decide quickly and when you don't. And we've just got to the point where everything is a now. Tell me. Why aren't you responding? I texted you earlier. I think a lot of people know now that I don't respond that quickly. My phone is on quiet all day. I check it and I respond when I get a chance. Unless say it's your boss, it's work, it's your kid. There are things that I will stop what I'm doing to respond. But if you're in the middle of something, a conversation with family, you're working on a project, maybe you're on something else, maybe you don't answer it right now. Wait until you have you can give them your full attention on whatever you know they're calling about. Because I know when I call people that I can tell are busy, I wish they would have just put me to voicemail. You can tell when you call someone and they have like 4 things going on behind them, they're not really paying attention to you. And that's what I'm saying. We don't have to do all the things at one time. Finish what you're doing and then call the person back or respond when you have time to be focused on them. There's a lot of people that operate in that constant urgency. And yeah, sure, maybe their life's busier than yours. A lot of times people think they're busier than you are and you just don't understand. Or you handle your priorities and busyness differently than they do, maybe. You've learned how to pause, how to put to the side and respond to that when you need to. There are different ways to handle things. So you shouldn't always feel like you're in a constant state of urgency and rushing. There's going to be days that are busier than others. But if you learn how to create that space and start with just the pause this week, just start with using the pause this week and reassessing how you're responding to things and not being pulled into other people's urgency. People that want immediate answers, fast decisions, and again, you have to be able to decipher, does my boss need this right now? Or can I say, and you got to know your boss, obviously not everyone's this way, a friend, whoever you're talking to, listen, can I get back to you on that? I just need some time without distractions to think it through. I want to give you a thoughtful response. So just know that you are allowed to move at a healthy pace. You really are. And of course, if you work in a high stress environment, so emergency room or, something else like that, of course, that's going to be different. But again, we have to decide when we are reacting with urgency that doesn't need to be and when we could choose different. And I'm trying to open your mind to know that there are different ways to choose with most things. Not always, but with most things. So I just want you to encourage you to have boundaries in certain situations. Know that you don't have to respond immediately. You can use the pause. You don't have to fix everything right now, and you don't have to carry other people's stress and pressure. If they're putting it on themselves and they're carrying it around and they want to say it's constantly urgent, just because it's urgent to them doesn't always mean it should be urgent for you. And that is a healthy boundary. It doesn't mean you're not going to help them. It just means you want to pause for a second and think it through. And maybe your kid needs you to call them back. So you have to say, I need a moment. My kids come before everyone. And they know there's times but I tell them, I can't talk to you during this hour. I'm going to be busy. I just want you to know that. Or I have something during this hour. I can't talk to you then. I tell my kids ahead of time so that if they did need me, they'll know they'll have to wait. But know that slowing down is possible and it's healthy. And I believe it's a strength. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're not as quick as others or as productive as others. It is a strength to make a better decision. And you are reducing stress for other people too. If you show them that you can slow down and say, listen, I really want to help you with this. I have something else on my plate. I want to get back to you and when I don't have distractions, and we'll talk it too. Help them to slow down too. It protects your mental health, your emotional health, your relationships, and all of that contributes to your physical health. And slowing down allows presence. We have lost sight of presence and focus on what is right in front of us because there's always something else. Not everyone, but many times conversations involve someone else looking at their phone, checking their messages. Their notifications become yours because you can hear them, even if they're on supposed quiet and you can still hear them. We have to get back to presence. Not only does it help our health and our relationships, but it brings back just that simple act of being. We have lost sight of just being with each other. It doesn't have to be about this or about that, or me telling you more than you're telling me, or me talking over you, or me rushing into this or rushing into that, or cramming. Just be together and being in an environment where I feel like everyone thrives. And it takes time. These things don't happen overnight. If you try to add the pause and boundaries and slow down in your work environment, there's going to be some resistance. So you don't have to create resistance. You just do it slowly, gently, and in time. It doesn't have to be a huge no, I'm not telling you right now. Just this week, add a few more pauses, a few fewer rush decisions. I encourage you to work towards more thoughtful responses, not just quick responses. And these pauses and these slowing down will add more space in your day, which adds more calm in your life. And it's not going to take away your productivity. I promise you'll probably be more productive, and you'll probably feel good about it because you'll have really thought through what you're doing. And this slower pace gives you more clarity, a more thoughtful way to think it through, and you'll have better outcomes. I promise you. And if you can even, share this podcast with someone else in your team or your work or your boss. And this is how you have a less urgent office environment. This is how you can think things through, have more clarity, and maybe you don't get to the end and be like, wow, how did we miss that? Or why was this rushed to put together? Or how did we, whatever it is, you can think it through. I feel like all of the technology that has supposedly come along to help us has made us so fast-paced and distracted, and we just miss things. So slow down. And then you won't have to talk about things 10 times sometimes, because everyone misses what you tell them because they're reading their emails, why they're talking to you on the phone, or they're responding to someone else, why you're telling them what you're working on or what you're thinking about. So slow down and practice the practical ways to say no to the urgency and to help your coworkers and your friends and your family do the same. And you'll be calmer, less stress. And I strongly believe you'll have better outcomes in all of it, not just work, your relationships, your day-to-day scheduling. So first of all, prepare yourself to add the pause this week. And you prepare yourself by, of course, planning your days, planning your week, thinking it through. Where am I working out? Where am I working? What meetings do I have? Plan your week and plan your day ahead of time. Before you go to bed, kind of look at your next day. And when you wake up, give yourself that clarity every morning to just get ready for the day. And remind yourself every day, I'm practicing the pause. Make that your intention this week. Schedule quiet time. That helps you to slow down. When you add quiet time to your life in the morning, midday, at night, you slowly add more calm to your life. Take a breath, take a pause before replying to people. Have that question in your head, is this truly urgent? Or am I just feeling pressure because they think it's urgent? Protect your calendar, set those boundaries, and truly normalize saying things like, I'll get back to you. I can't let you know right now. Let me check my schedule. I'm not sure. Normalize not just saying yes right away. Because you don't have to change it all at once. Just start this week by adding the pause and that intention to slow down a bit and not jump into all this urgency. So I just want to remind you, you don't have to live in constant urgency. You shouldn't be feeling that stress nonstop day to day. You are allowed to slow down, and you're absolutely allowed to pause. I think it's a necessity in life to pause before you answer, before you respond. And you are allowed to protect your peace, not just at home, but at work. As long as you are getting your stuff done, and I promise you, you will be more productive, because your mind will have clarity and you won't be as overwhelmed. Not everything needs that immediate response. Thoughtful living is truly an intentional way to live. So I want to encourage you this week to practice the pause. Sometimes the most powerful thing you could do is pause, take a breath, and choose a slower, more peaceful, more calm response. So where in your life can you say no to urgency this week? I'm rooting for you. Share this with your friends, share this with a coworker, and thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I'd love to hear from you. Get a review, subscribe to the podcast, and I hope you have the best week. Slow down and pause. Take care.